Yo, what is up, everybody? That was a horrible intro, but I'm sticking with it today. I don't care. I've had a long day, but it was a fun day nonetheless. But that's not the reason why you guys came to this movie podcast of Phineas and Ferb, Candace Against the Universe. Oh boy, there's some stuff I want to say about this movie. It has its pros, it has its cons, but overall, if you love Fantasy Four, I feel like you're going to get some enjoyment out of it. But yeah, definitely this movie is weird, and I'm only going off of the one watch of it. I haven't rewatched it since the first watch, which was on this last Friday on Disney Plus. This is a Disney Plus exclusive, mind you, and so far Disney Plus has been pretty good. I mean, I've seen what was the one with the gorilla? I think it was Ivan something, the one knowing Ivan. That one was actually well put together, and I almost shed a tear. Excuse me. Not gonna lie, I love the '90s aesthetic of some of the areas in it. But that's not why you guys came here for this podcast review. And before I get started, I want to go into a couple of updates for the podcast formula, because I am wanting to do more outside of movies, and of course talk about games and different types of news, stuff like that in a podcast-esque formula. Obviously they have the gaming discussions, but as you guys probably know, I've tried to stop Trouge Talks, which is essentially just kind of a weekly, I guess you can kind of call it a podcast talk show, kind of a radio show, if you will. And that's something I've been wanting to put together for a little bit. So technically this is episode 2 of it. Technically, this is also like episode 5 of it, because I also did, I believe I did podcast reviews on stuff like Star vs. the Force of Evil, DuckTales, and I'm pretty sure I also did Avatar at one point or another, but I'll probably redo that because I am watching The Legend of Korra right now. Be sure to get on that. But yeah, also, because this is a newer movie, and because it is Disney Plus exclusive, not everyone's going to be able to watch it. This is going to have spoilers of the movie. I would say critical spoilers, but it's a Phineas and Ferb movie, so whatever I think of it, obviously, it depends on what your phrase of a critical spoiler is. There's nothing here. I want to say this right now, just for a non-spoiler, like what I think about the movie. I had a good watch. I laughed the whole way through it, but I feel like it was more of an extended episode than a movie. So we're going to get into that here in a little bit. But again, if you guys like what you're listening to, if you guys like my beautiful voice, I know I probably don't have a beautiful voice, but you know what? I like it, and that's the way I'm handling it, dang it. But if you guys like what you guys hear, please go and support me on Patreon at patreon.com/thegamingtruge. Also, subscribing helps the channel out. On another topic, before we fully get into this, I lost 2 subscribers right after I uploaded that dang 90 subscriber video. I felt so bad, because I'm like, should I still keep it up because I did in fact hit 90 subs that day, or should I just leave it? I was going to leave it because I did hit 90 subs, and then I lost 2 of them that exact same freaking day, and I felt so bad. But, yeah, of course, we're way close to 100 subscribers, so let's try to get to that by the end of 2020. 2020 is a weird year. But let's get on with the movie. So, sorry if, again, my voice kind of changes back and forth. I'm right now sitting on the edge of my couch, and so if I, step back, I don't know how well I should probably be screaming, because there is people asleep at the time of this recording. So, without further ado, let's get dangerous. I wanted to do that catchphrase so badly. So the movie essentially starts off with Candace doing what she always does, trying to bust Phineas and Ferb, doing a summer vacation. Now, I don't know how the heck the continuity. I have no idea where this takes place. This is the thing. One of the biggest cons is that I don't know if this is the same summer or next year's summer. if they ever make a I was going to say Netflix original, a Disney Plus original next season like they did with Star Wars, which a lot of people want, that's actually kind of like a possibility. I wonder if it's like the next summer, like the next 4 seasons are going to be like the next summer, so they're just a tad bit older or whatever. I don't know. Forbes still going to have like that British kid voice, which I always loved, but. Oh my gosh. Again, continuity, don't wait. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It's still Face of Forbes. It's still a summer vacation. I'm assuming it takes place in the normal for summer vacation that they've been, the 104 days or whatever. And she feels like just nothing is going her way. Everything that happened this summer was just basically a bunch of gut punches to the face, which I can kind of empathize with her a little bit. In a meta sense, kind of, this summer has literally been the most craziest year, and it feels like all I've been posting up alongside just normal like gaming related videos is the whole drama thing that's been going on between me, One for All. Well, of course, people back me up like the Conundrum, Shinwa Yagurashi, as well as Novatron, which I can still beat you at any fighting game, man. Despite what you said, I could probably still best you at any style of game, especially if it's an anime fighter. Come on now. I'm joking, like, play joking, like, obviously, I'm not over pumping myself, but forget it. We're going back to the movie. This is not a Novatron discussion. This is a Phineas and Ferb discussion. Anyway, so Phineas and Ferb, then go of course go inside. They finish with the day. Perry beats up Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Everything is all fine and dandy like cotton candy until Candace gets sucked in, like finds this like giant ship, and she realizes she gets abducted by aliens. Like, for real. They just dropped that bombshell pretty dang early on. And it wasn't her that just got sucked in, but as well as Doofenshmirtz's daughter, Vanessa, which they have, of course, been closer friends as the series kept going more forward and forward. And probably Forbes' future girlfriend, wife. I mean, whatever. But, yeah, so they get sucked into a escape pod, leaning back up into space, or ship leaning back into space. Vanessa does, in fact, go into an escape pod, but Candace ends up getting captured. And it's up to Phineas, Ferb, Isabella, Buford Baljeet, and Dr. D himself. Dr. D, dude, that should be like a rapper name. Dude, if you guys have been on the internet for any length of time, you guys probably already knew about that he could DJ more than probably me, which is pretty funny to think about. But yeah, so Dr. Doofenshmirtz also, and yes, even the help of Dr. Doofenshmirtz, and still, they didn't reveal that Perry is a secret agent. They've tried so many times to build up suspense. I'm convinced that they're not going to show off that Perry is a secret agent. And if they are going to do that, they're probably going to either do the mind waste thing, or maybe they would eventually just let go of Perry, or just I don't even know. Because let's be real here. Like we saw at the end of season 4, he's just bad at being good. He's the living embodiment of that one Zuko quote in Avatar season 3, where he's all like, "I'm so bad at being good." It's pretty funny to think about when we're looking back on the entire Phineas and Ferb series, because you pick up on crap like that. But going back to the story at hand. So they go across it. I don't know what the developers were thinking or what the creators were thinking. Were like, why do we make Isabella and Doofenshmirtz fight about who's going to be the most better and mature adult? Which obviously everyone knows it's most likely Isabella. Let's be real here for a hot second. Isabella is more responsible than Doofenshmirtz. Doofenshmirtz, I feel like, is that one uncle that visits every now and then, that takes the kids out for some wacky adventure throughout the woods or something. while Isabella is that type of person, that type of aunt that would show up and give everyone ice cream if they want. And also, she does go on adventures every now and then, but I'm just saying. But continuing on throughout the story, freaking. So back to Candace, because this is horror movie after all. I guess this is horror type of deal. She is meet with this alien that, on honesty, I can already kind of tell she was already going to be evil. I got a sense of the Cross the Second Dimension vibe, which is the first Phineas movie that came out. And I got a lot of that vibe with her. Like she just seemed like more of an actual villain than just like Doofenshmirtz. Like they did feel like that, but then she did turn away near the end of the movie. Then she got eaten. Yeah, again, I said spoil what. But yeah, throughout the entire movie, she's been trying to go and convince Candace to use oxygen in order. Well, she's been known as the chosen one, which just gives her a sense of being more special, and that's the main reason why she feels always so down the dumps, and she has to be like the big sister and stuff like that, is because she doesn't feel special at all. And I'm like, okay, for one, I can feel at that. Let's be like, I think everyone, if we take a hot second, especially those that are doing the same thing that I'm doing, we're doing this whole thing because we want to show off our talents and stuff like that. But and even at the end of the day, special is the most overrated use ever. Not even just in a show or movie, but just like in real life. Because obviously all of us have talents and that are different. Like all of us have our strengths and weaknesses, and that's the best way to describe this movie. Is that all of us have our strengths and weaknesses, but we are still pretty freaking amazing in the end. So that's why I kind of like those stories. But obviously those stories have been done to death way more than once, especially with Phineas and Ferb. Again, more than once. The fashion episode in season 1, I'm just going off of memory here, is an example of it because of the amount of just the amount of like work that she gets in. Like she wants to be in this fashion design area, but then Phineas and Ferb just make their own clothing line, and they've all of a sudden all the biggest thing, and so. Again, I can kind of relate with that with her a little bit, considering that there is a bunch of people in my family, and sometimes I do feel like that at times. And that's kind of why I made a persona that I'm like the anime-esque hero, I guess. I don't know. But I do like my persona that I put on for you guys if I'm doing videos, if I'm doing my rapping with DJ Snowflake. Like, it's fun, and obviously at the end of the day, I am mixing my own personal stuff with my persona that I use, just so you guys can get bits and pieces of the real me within some fun media as well. So that's why I kind of relate a little bit closer to Candace in this movie, just a little bit more. If they would just keep doing this like every episode she's in, then yeah. And Phineas and Ferb don't even know that she was legit like jealous of them. Like they're the most like they're just the most oblivious people I think I've ever seen. But they're in a good way. Like they're supposed to be portrayed as children. The creators even said that way back in the beginning. I remember watching this thing. Well, they were like a lot of networks didn't want to air Phineas and Ferb because they seem so quote unquote Christ-like. Well, like they can never do any wrong, even though like they are just children. They don't need to do like they don't they not everything like not every like sibling always does stuff wrong, and it's not like that they always get in trouble. They're just trying to just live the summer, and to their knowledge, everyone seems okay with it. Everyone loves it. So I really hate that whole Christ-like bullcrap that people have been pulling, that people have been saying about this show. But obviously that was like way before it fully took off, which I like to say it did take off pretty well, obviously, as we're here now in 2020 talking about a newer movie that dropped. But yeah. So Phineas and Ferb cheer her up, give her the motivational speech that she's done so many crazy things. She was the Queen of Mars. She kicks so much butt. She got like 50 or 100, 50 badges in one day for the Fireside Girls by being a giant crocodile. Like, this is stuff that I feel like a normal human being won't even do, let alone even try to do. But definitely Candace did it, and during the alien invasion, they go and kill them by using surprises or free stuff, because that's how they die. And apparently, when they die, they yell Candace, which I think is funny, because I just imagine like the next time I'm jumping into like a Halo firefight match or just even a FPS in general, if I get a headshot, I'm just Candace, Candace, Candace. These are the sums. I'm very easy to please, as you can tell. It's just that's like one headshot, just Candace, 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 which I feel like is just great. Before I fully finish off the story, I want to talk about the music in this whole movie. The music in this movie is pretty dang good. I do, in fact, enjoy the soundtrack pretty well of this movie. It still has that Phineas and Ferb train to it. Like, the first, couple seconds into the movie, you start getting hit with that first song, and I was still bopping to it like I've known it forever. But I was just bopping into it. It was definitely good pacing also, considering Phineas and Ferb always have one song in every episode. I believe this one has 3, maybe 4, maybe a bit more. Didn't try to line down, but maybe just a bit more than just a normal episode, obviously, because it's a movie. And I think this one is a tad bit longer than Second Dimension, but I also think it's also a little bit short. It feels shorter than Second Dimension. If you guys don't know what Phineas and Ferb Across the Second Dimension is, that is the very first ever Phineas and Ferb movie, like I said earlier. But essentially, it had more action in it than this one did, which I feel like that's why this one seems like a normal show, like longer, obviously. And I'm not downplaying that by any means. It feels like an actual episode, which to me that can like bring any newcomer to the to watching it, and still a good watch even if you don't get any of like the past stuff, because similar to a lot of like retro stuff getting revived, they have a lot of like references and callbacks to a bunch of different earlier episodes, and definitely this is a fans sequel, which I would say like a fans of Ferb, because again, with all the callbacks and stuff like that, and you can like spot like near the end battlefield takes place in this baseball field, which I got Leroy and Stitch vibes from. If you guys don't remember that movie, it was the last Lilo and Stitch movie that came out, and I got very big. I think that one was a football field, to be completely honest, but I still got vibes from that end moment where this was where the battlefield was. But I did in fact I did love it, like it a lot. It just everything about that final scene was pretty cool, because you could see like a shining void baby head. There was something in there, I forgot what it was, dang, off the top of my head, but there was like other references within that area of the movie. Is pretty good. Again, like I said, this is a Phineas and Ferb's fans movie, which I feel like should go without saying. The show has been running for close to 10 years, or it's been relevant for more than 10 years at this point, because I feel like it reached 10 years in 2008, in 2018, sorry, my bad. In 2018, because the show aired in 2008, but yeah, definitely led a bunch of kids to, of course, seize the day, and it's definitely still relevant, and this movie is still really good. But to finish that plot summary real quick, so after Candace gets the courage to go and fight all the aliens, they win in the end. The woman gets eaten by this random monster that they've ended up saving, and all seems good. And also, I don't really know how the lady fit this into the plot summary. There was also Jeremy, which is Candace's canonical boyfriend, forever always will be a boyfriend. I don't know what the owner has to say about that, but bear with me here. And apparently he was about to go lopping, which is pretty funny to think about, because we don't really see that much of Jeremy, like, personality, other than sometimes. Like, we know that he can roller skate, and there was a couple of scenes where he gets to talk to him. He likes music, he has a band, but we never seen him like this quote-unquote nerdy or stereotype nerd before. But I lost at that point is the fact that he was planning on going lopping before the alien invasion, which I thought was hilarious. That's, again, I'm easy to please, but like I didn't expect that, like, one bit. But yeah, so they ended up helping also fight alongside Stacy. And overall, this entire, like, final bosses, I should say, because there's more than one, just felt a lot more. It felt a lot more like a Phineas and Ferb episode. I feel like that's the topic of this movie. It feels like an actual episode of the show, which is a good thing. I wasn't really expecting second dimension, especially after this long, just without it being aired. Obviously, we need to have, like, some, like, movies where it feels like an extended episode, just to kind of, like, regain some of that, like, charm and stuff like that. Because when you go off and do a movie, that, like, again, I'll bring up Second Dimension. It has a lot of movie-esque points to it. Like, has a lot more. The pacing feels a lot more like a movie than it does a show, while this one feels a lot more like a show than a movie. Does that make sense? I feel like it kind of makes sense, but what can you do? And so, finally, Candace ends up winning. The mom tries to go and see what Candace is doing, and Candace is all like, just get some pizza on the way home. Like, she legit is like, I don't even want the bus stop anymore. Let's just go. Let's just get some pizza. And then they, of course, have the musical number, and that's essentially the Phineas and Ferb, Candace Against the Universe. I do, in fact, love this movie. I definitely recommend one watch of it, at the very least, because it is a good show. It's a good show to begin with. Like, I highly recommend watching Phineas and Ferb on Disney Plus. I recommend watching Milo's Murphy's Law also, which is the kind of the underrated sequel series to Phineas and Ferb, which, believe it or not, they actually reference in this movie, which was great. I didn't catch on to it, my brother did, but shout outs to him. But that freaking that Milo Murphy's Law got me. Again, that one, it wasn't dead on arrival. I still saw a lot of potential with it, but again, it felt like it was more leaning towards the Gravity Falls, Star Voices, and DuckTales 2017 formula, where they tried to have a narrative with it, which, for me, and this is nothing against the creators, it's just general, but the creators of Phineas and Ferb, I feel like, has to have, like, that sitcom-esque flow in order to, like, continue on with a good show. I'm going on in Milo Murphy's Law tangent. I apologize, but that's why I find it kind of good, kind of not. I see a lot more cons than pros with it, but definitely they got Weird Al to voice the main character, which, in all honesty, I actually liked. The theme song's catchy as heck, but you know. Anyway, so my final opinion of it, you guys should go watch it. One watch, even if you are still a little bit skeptical about Phineas and Ferb, and you think this movie can potentially prove it wrong. This can be kind of the cure for you, if you will, and so, yeah. So thank you guys so very much for watching or listening to this podcast. I hope you guys enjoy it. I plan on doing a lot of these podcasts once a week on Fridays, so you guys can go and listen to them. So there would actually be another podcast happening this Friday. I just wanted to get this movie podcast out as soon as I could, because I kind of pushed it off for a little bit, but yeah, so this has been the Phineas and Ferb podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic night. Oh, gosh. I was about to do the end card, and I was about to choke because I gasped. And keep gaming.